Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Now, when it came to the various debates playing out at the last minute here, some matchups seemed lopsided, and of course there was a little bit of skepticism when it comes to certain Republican candidates. For instance, Herschel Walker, people were really unsure if he was going to be able to deliver the goods. However, he ended up performing admirably, but if there's one candidate where it was never in question, he was going to absolutely own, absolutely dominate, it's of course none other than Ron DeSantis. And folks, did he deliver? He absolutely smoked Charlie Crist. He mopped the floor with him. He swept the streets and raked the leaves with him. Very simply, Ron DeSantis is just not the guy you want to get in the ring with. It's like getting in the ring with Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson. The guy's an absolute political animal. At this point, friends, I think it's time for Democrats to throw in the towel when it comes to the state of Florida. It is long gone for the Democrats, and there are two names to thank for that: Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. And let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that, as Ron DeSantis once again delivers in the most epic of fashion. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so let's first start off with the highlight reel. Ron DeSantis was on fire on that debate stage.
When the bridges got wiped out in Pine Island and in Sanibel, people thought those islands were going to be severed from the mainland for 6 months to a year. We did the Pine Island restoration in 3 days, and we did the Sanibel Causeway restoration in 2 weeks. Now those islands have the ability to recover, and Charlie Crist is sitting there. You know what he was doing during this? He was in hiding out in Puerto Rico. He wasn't helping his community here. And then when he got back, what did he do? His campaign was soliciting campaign contributions from storm victims. That is unacceptable, and that's not what a leader would do in a time of despair. I'm proud of our history. I don't want to teach kids to hate our country. I don't want to teach kids to hate each other. And the way to stop discrimination on the basis of race is to stop discriminating on the basis of race. And we signed legislation to protect the right of women athletes, that you should not have someone competing on the men's team for 3 years and then switch to the women's team. Charlie Crist opposed that bill. He said he would have vetoed it. I'm going to protect women's sports in the state of Florida. When Charlie Crist was governor, he ran saying he would not raise taxes. He became governor, and he signed off on the largest increase in taxes and fees in the history of the state of Florida.
That's time,
we
Governor.
just enacted the largest decrease in taxes in the history of Florida. We just got the nation's report card, the results from all 50 states. Florida, number 3 in 4th grade reading and number 4 in the country in 4th grade math. And if you adjust that for demographics, we are number 1 in the country in both. That would not have happened if we let Charlie Crist and his friends lock our kids out of school like they did in California and like they did in New York. We did it right in Florida. And then I signed legislation raising the penalties for people who are trafficking fentanyl and fentanyl analogs. If you're trafficking that garbage, that poison, you are killing people in our state, and we are going to treat you like the murderer that you are. Charlie Crist was governor. He did nothing about it for 4 years. In fact, he cut education $300 million. What have I done? We've done the largest increase in teacher compensation in the history of the state of Florida. You know, his running mate is a teachers union boss. She makes almost $200,000 a year. The teachers down in Miami don't make that. So I don't want the money going to teachers' unions. I want the money going in the pockets of teachers. So we are going to do $1 billion categorical in next year's budget. We've made tremendous progress, and we're going to continue to do it because we know how important it is. I'm proud of the 15 weeks that we did. I know Charlie Crist opposes that, even though the baby is fully formed, has a heartbeat, can feel pain, and can suck their thumb. He also supports sex-selective abortions, which is used to discriminate against little girls. He supports dismemberment abortions, where they literally will tear the baby limb from limb, and he supports taxpayer funding of abortion all the way up until the moment of birth, and that is wrong.
Folks, it's been a while since I've seen such a one-sided fight. It wasn't even close. Here's the thing, it's a lethal combination that Ron DeSantis possesses. But of course, the most powerful tool that Ron DeSantis has in the political arena is very simply honesty. He's not beating around the bush. He's not like Charlie Crist holding all kinds of diametrically opposed opinions, being a massive flip-flopper who gets caught out in a lie every single second. Ron DeSantis is unique within the realm of politics because he's actually standing up up for what he believes in and he stands up strongly. He's not trying to appease the woke left while appeasing the moderates. He's saying, listen, fentanyl is killing people, the people who are peddling this crap. We're going to deal with them. When it comes to woke indoctrination and these out of control school teachers, we're going to deal with them. When it comes to these Democrats and keeping our kids out of school, we're going to deal with them. And that's basically the format of his messaging. It's hard hitting. It's taking a stand and standing by it strongly. That's the superpower that Ron DeSantis possesses here. And you mix that with the fact that he's coherent, the fact that he's charismatic and witty, and you have a deadly combination. 1, 2, 3. There is no stopping Ron DeSantis with any Democrat. You can get the most talented politician that you want, it ain't gonna work because it's just not a fair playing field. You can't compete with Ron DeSantis on the current Democrat platform. I mean, let's put it into perspective. Supposedly, abortion is the winning issue for Democrats. Well, we saw that wasn't true even with Herschel Walker. He scored some major points on the debate stage against Raphael Warnock on the issue of abortion. If you ask me, he won on that issue. Well, Ron DeSantis, you saw it in the highlights. He also made abortion a winning issue. He's got a very moderate stance on the issue, essentially banning the medical procedure after the first trimester, and he stood by it. He didn't run away from it. He made an ethical argument that appeals to people's basic morality, and he won on the issue. You don't need to run away from what's perceived as a winning Democrat issue at all. You need to stick by your guns. You need to stick by what you believe is right and make a coherent argument. And this is what Ron DeSantis is best at. Frankly, this is Ron DeSantis' superpower. It's similar to Donald Trump and Kari Lake. They're not playing the Mitt Romney flip-flop game. They're not trying to package vague political rhetoric that doesn't offend. They're standing up and they're taking that stand. And you just can't compete with that as a Democrat. That's basically the point that I've been trying to make here. Democrats are being pulled in 7 different directions, and their messaging has to be packed in a way that masks that. It's a major strategic disadvantage. And we are certainly seeing the effects in Florida, folks, as Democrats are finally realizing that their chances in the Sunshine State are dwindling. The Associated Press writes, a swing state no more, GOP confidence grows in Florida. Democrats are increasingly concerned that Florida, once the nation's premier swing state, may slip away this fall and beyond as emboldened Republicans capitalize on divisive cultural issues and population shifts in crucial contest for governor and the U.S. Senate. The anxiety was apparent last week during a golf cart parade of Democrats featuring Senate candidate Val Demings at the Villages, a retirement community just north of the Interstate 4 corridor. It was once a politically mixed part of the state where elections were often decided, but some Democrats now say they feel increasingly isolated. I am terrified, said 77-year-old Sue Sullivan, lamenting the state's rightward shift. There are very few Democrats around here. Florida continues to move further and further out of the Democrats' grasp, and after Hurricane Ian, it's even worse. Remember just a couple weeks ago when Democrats were trying to sabotage Ron DeSantis' response to the hurricane? The Biden administration wasn't even dealing with Ron DeSantis, the governor of the state, directly, but rather dealing with a couple small-time Democrats in the state. And we were seeing all kinds of articles popping up using Hurricane Ian as a way to attack Ron DeSantis. I'm paraphrasing here. If Ron DeSantis fails in his response to Hurricane Ian, it could plummet his approval ratings ahead of the next election. They were clearly hoping that he was going to fail. Well, the opposite is what happened, of course. And now we're seeing reports like this. Florida's Hispanic voters back DeSantis over Crist, support Martha's Vineyard migrant flights. A new Telemundo/LX News poll shows DeSantis' approval rating is in positive territory and that he earned his highest marks for the way that he handled Hurricane Ian. The 2 October surprises, so to speak. What Democrats were hoping to take down Ron DeSantis, his migrant flights to Martha's Vineyard, didn't exactly play out the way Democrats were hoping, and his response to Hurricane Ian has boosted him to his highest levels ahead of the midterm election. Ron DeSantis is the Democrats' worst nightmare. He's taken a state which has traditionally been the most important swing state in the nation on the electoral map, and he's turned it into a ruby-red Republican stronghold. And now it's possible that Kari Lake does the same thing in Arizona. Who knows, Glenn Youngkin might make Virginia much more competitive, and there might be some more surprises yet to come. The Democrats' worst nightmare is here, and it happens to look something like this. Florida is becoming increasingly out of reach for the Democrat establishment. Charlie Crist is done, and I just have a feeling at some point we're no longer going to be saying Governor Ron DeSantis. We're eventually or inevitably going to be saying President DeSantis. That's what I got for you guys, though. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching, friends, and I will see you on the next one.